All right, guys, I'm out here in nature. Get my bare feet on the ground. Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Pure, unadulterated nature. Check out this big boulder that grew in, the tree grew around it. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. So amazing. Look at that beautiful tree. But I just wanted to share it with y'all and see what comes up and out of me to again, with the intention of helping to shine a light that it may break through the darkness of whatever blockages you're experiencing that are holding you back in your journey, and from realizing, accepting, and embracing who you truly are as a human, as a H-U, light being, right? Human. They literally tell us what we are, powerful. But then they tell us, well, you've got to be regulated and you've got to be looked after, and you need all these rules and tens of thousands of laws, and you've got to have all these teachers, and you got to have outside validation, and you learn, and yeah, what a joke, man. And the only way to break through this stuff is to get it back to the basics, get it back to the foundation of what the truth is and what your truth is as a human. Not as, whatever label you label yourself as, whatever category or box that you have found your safety and comfort in, but to truly integrate, embrace, acknowledge, understand, know, remember, exactly who you are. An eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful soul, connected to everything on that level of existence, occupying and in charge of the most advanced biological system on this earth, connected to everything biologically. And that's just what it is, We're eternal souls from source, from the divine. The divine is within. This is our temple. Our temple here on this earth is connected to everything. We come from Mother Earth. Mother Earth provides. And, we've been taught to laugh and mock at those basic truths, those basic fundamentals, that basic foundation. We've been told, this is the progress of society and technology and all this horse shit. And while they strip you bare of your birthright, of these innate powers and capabilities that we were gifted as these beings. And so yeah, my intention is, with this video, as with always, is to shine a light on those blockages that you have. Those blockages that your ego is viciously and voraciously defending and justifying and excusing, and you're saying, I want to heal and I want to move forward and I want to embrace who I truly am, but you're at every turn defending, justifying, and excusing the mental paradigms and slave mind boxes that the systems put us in. You're unwilling to face and address in the unknown of what happens when you break those systems down that you've been traumatized and abused to separate your authentic self from, in order to survive in these systems. And instead of living every day, you're dying every day. All of your actions are towards death. None of your actions are towards life. If you aren't waking up in the morning and the first thing in the morning saying these affirmations and speaking good to yourself, in the night before you pass out, saying these affirmations to yourself, and instead you're going to bed with all these worries, doubts, concerns, fears, planning about tomorrow, worried about bills, worried about this, worried about that. And so you're not waking up in the right mindset and getting yourself straight. And then you're just rushing off into your day. You're not taking care of your fascia, doing 2 minutes of fascia hopping. You're not connecting to Mother Nature, putting your feet on the earth and grounding. And so you're avoiding all these things. You're saying you want one thing, but all your actions are spinning in circles and jumping from one cattle pen to the next, instead of actually making the changes necessary. You might have it all up here. We can have it all up here. But if we aren't integrating that fully into who we are, then we're hypocrites. Then we're living with cognitive dissonance. Then we are saying one thing and doing another. And, again, that feeds into death. You're killing the man. You're killing the energy that we can harness from within, from nature itself. And we're giving all of that up and relegating ourselves into these positions where we prostrate ourselves before any kind of outside of authority or anything that says that it's higher than us and that we need to obey or listen or learn, or we're not good enough. And it's all part of the programming, guys. That's how they keep us in these systems. That's how they keep us cursing life and not embracing the present moment and not accepting and fully giving gratitude at every moment for the gift of the present moment. Remember, they call it the present. They tell us straight to our face, it's called the present for real. It's a present. It's a gift. It's a gift. And, so until you're willing to address all of these things and quit your excuses and the great thing about your excuses and your justifications and your firm stances that you're taking is that when you soften your heart eventually and you connect with that inner child and you get back to how this all started for you in this lifetime and how you became enslaved and let go of your true essence and your innocence and your purity, when you allow yourself to soften your heart and get away from that fear of what are the repercussions of letting go of all of these things, then you will be able to use those observations of when you are excusing, justifying, and everything else, these positions that you're taking right now, as an opportunity to see what's holding you back. Because it's not these outside forces anymore. When you're using excuses and justifications, it's you, it's your mental that's holding your physical and your spiritual back. Because you are literally justifying your slavery and your enslavement. And you're justifying your broken body and your broken mind and your broken soul and your broken spirit. And you're justifying the cognitive dissonance, and you're justifying the misalignment. And it's difficult and it's stressful and it wears you out and it feeds into death. Like I said, these things are all feeding into death. Every day, as long as you're holding on to all these things, you are feeding into death. You are doing nothing for life. Nothing. Zero. Zip, zilch for life. Because to truly live is to be grateful for the present, the gift, the present moment. And you guys can't do it because you're in the present until you start really making some headway on this stuff. You are in pain. You are in confusion. You are in fear and anxiety. And that's your present moment for you, and you can't be in that. You can't allow, your ego will not allow you to be in that, because that's what your ego's been saving you from the whole time. That's why your ego kicked in as a young child through the abuse and the trauma that your parents in the systems put you through. And that's what the ego was for, that was the part of the brain that switches on fight or flight. Let's get out of this. What do we have to do to survive this moment until we can get to a safe space? But we never got to the safe space. So all we ever did was build up that ego and shove that soul, shove that integration, shove that alignment away. And that's why all the confusion, that's why all the chaos, that's why all the death, the destruction, the disease. And so it's so simple. It's so extremely simple. It's just now that ego has such a stronghold, has such a firm grip, a grasp on your state of being, it will fight to the death. It does not want to let go. It will trick you. It will pull out every trick in the book. It will pull on your heartstrings and make you think that what you're saying and the way you're justifying things is from your heart, and that to go against what you think is against the heart, and you just have to tough it out because you're supposed to suffer in this life, and you're supposed to, you were born in sin, and you deserve this, and humanity is just evil, and it's all horseshit, guys. This is a pattern of behavior that was placed on us purposefully in order to keep us, giving up the gift of who we truly are, the power of being an eternal soul inside this most advanced biological system. And it was all done on purpose. And if you are justifying excusing, you're being played. The system is playing the shit out of you and taking everything from you, stealing everything from you, and you're sitting there, your ego just happy to defend it, and you're saying it's coming from your heart and from logical thinking. I thought really deeply. I've done a bunch of research. I've read a bunch of books, or I've read the Bible. That's the only thing I got to know is the Bible, and I let my heart lead me, and I still believe that there's, that I was born in sin and all this shit. No. As long as you keep clinging to these things, you're never gonna heal. You're never gonna heal. You might make it a little ways. You might make it in some ways, and but you're not gonna make you'll never reclaim your power. You'll never reclaim your sovereignty. You'll never reclaim your authority. You'll never reclaim the gift. You just won't do it. You can't. It's impossible. As long as you're holding on to those old slave programmings that were instilled and indoctrinated into you, you're not going to do it. And that's just the way it is. That's the rules. Those are the laws. If you want this life, if you want to be able to experience this gift of life, you have to be willing to give all that up. And in order to do that, you have to connect with that inner child again. You have to face these things that are uncomfortable and unsafe, that you're just refusing to let go of, that are keeping you stuck. And again, things as simple as crystals, guys. Things as simple as crystals. 3 years ago, I thought crystals were crazy. I thought they were woo-woo. I thought they were new age. But now look at me. Look at me. Got my crystals. And why? Because, look, just taking it back to the system, the only way your phone operates is with crystals. The only way most medical equipment operates is with crystals. The only way most communication systems operate is with crystals. The only way, and I can keep on going. So it's used in all of these things. But they don't tell you, they just hand you this magical black box and say, ooh, look what we can do with our technology, while they're sitting here using Mother Earth. It's crazy. It's ludicrous. And they've got us so fooled because they indoctrinate us through 12 years of indoctrination to get us separated from our common sense and from our intuition, believing this sports shit that they shove down our faces and into our brains. But yeah, I wear these crystals, and every one of them I wear them with intention and purpose. This one here's dravite, which is a brown tourmaline. Brown tourmaline helps you connect with your authentic self. It's for self-awareness. In this one I have turquoise. I have turquoise and peridot. Turquoise is to live a life of truth, to speak authentically, to clear up throat blockages. Peridot is for a life of abundance. And I don't mean financial. It can be financial abundance, that's fine. But I mean abundance. The abundance, the ability to understand that we were given everything we need. We don't need anything outside of us. And to realize who we truly are, that we are abundant. Just as being as eternal souls occupying this extremely advanced biological system. I got a blue apatite. Blue apatite is for it helps me with creativity and connecting with my power, my inner power, and harnessing that. And then I have, this is is it the Lemurian quartz? This is a Lemurian quartz. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's got the barcode. See on the sides? It looks like barcode going across it. That's for, most people use it for connecting to ancestors and their lineages and their Akashic records. It's like a stone of remembrance to connect in that way, right, across all space and time. But also quartz just amplifies everything. So there's a purpose in this. You know, like I said, 3 years ago, I would have thought you were fucking nuts for doing this kind of shit. But through my comments section, I had several people in my videos years ago suggest crystals in my healing process. And I had to do a lot of soul searching and giving up of old programming in order to be able to soften my heart, truly soften my heart, and break these programs and find out, just build that connection and allow that connection with Mother Nature. What else? Anything else? Again, guys, this isn't New Age. They're wrapping. This is how the system gaslights you into not experimenting yourself with these things. Hug a tree. Hug a tree. I'm not even going to go into all of the knowledge that's held in trees and the power and the energy that runs through trees and how we're connected to that. But observe and experiment for yourself instead of just saying these things are woo-woo. When I was like, okay, when I started breaking these old programmings down and I got my first crystals were black tourmaline and black tourmaline, obsidian, and what was the other one? What's the other one that oh, it's right there. It's right there. The name of it's right there. But anyways, the other one blocks like heavy Wi-Fi signals. Damn, I can't remember the name of that crystal. But anyways, those are the three I start off with because I was under heavy attack, demonic attack, and bad energy attack, and all of these things, right? So those were the crystals that I experimented with, and holy cow. Within that first 2 days, it blew my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? You know, and I went out and then I went on a spree of, I was hooked. I was addicted. And, you know, that's what you don't want to do, is to start putting all the power into these things, right? Because I went out and I bought everything. I bought everything. And crystal-wise, you know, and it's not supposed to be like, that's an unhealthy way of healing. Is to, you know, and that's the old man still. Those were still programmings that I was breaking. Is, you know, okay, I found the answer. Let me get all these crystals and I'm going to surround myself, and then I'll just, you know, and it can work like that. But you have to get that tempo cleaned out. You've got to clean that tempo out. You've got to clean this programming out. You've got to get your heart right. You've got to get in alignment. You've got to integrate. There's a lot of work to be done besides just, okay, crystals are the magic answer. And that goes for every step of your healing. Oh, I quit eating, satanically abused, sacrificed animal flesh. Well, that's good, but you have 12 other things that are pressing very hard right now. Oh, well, aren't you going to pat me on the back and give me 2 more years before I take the next step? Well, you take as long as you want. In 4 years, I figured out, I had to figure out that what CPTSD was, what ADHD, autism, and on and on and on. My neck injury, my back injury, my spinal cord injury, my traumatic brain injury. I had to figure all that out on my own. In 4 years, I've done this. 4 years. I'm here. I look younger now than I did when I was 35, and I'm 47. I'm aging backwards. because I'm in alignment, because I'm living in alignment. There's no cognitive dissonance. Yes, I'm still healing in ways. Yes, I'm still integrating in ways. Yes, I'm still discovering and remembering things that are necessary for me to fully embody at every single given moment my wholeness. But look how far I've come in 4 years. 4 years. I've healed major spinal injuries, major back and neck problems, major posture issues, major nervous system issues, major nervous system damage, major brain damage, major emotional damage, through finding out what CPTSD was and finally facing my childhood. If you're running around with all these issues, guys, this severe anxiety, depression, your body can't move, you're having all these movement issues, you can't think straight, you're being attacked by demons and bad entities and energies and all of these things, and you haven't delved into looking into CPTSD and fixing your childhood and working on your inner child and your daily habits of affirmations and what you say to yourself and the music you listen to and how you wake up in the morning and doing your fascia hopping and releasing your fascia and fixing your posture and fixing and regulating your nervous system and doing breathing techniques and getting off all the poisons and only eating fruits. I mean, guys, you're baby stepping. And that's fine. Do what you want to do. My job is not here to judge. It's to point out the obvious that your fucking ego blinds you to. That's what my job, that's what my purpose and mission is in life right at this moment. And, it's not to coddle you, because you're doing enough coddling yourself if you're sitting there rolling around in circles in your justifications and going from one cattle pen to another instead of truly freeing yourself. And that's what I'm here for, to shine a light, to be a light in the darkest of places, bringing hope, encouragement, and inspiration and all. Well, Richard, don't sound much like hope, encouragement, and inspiration. You're really putting me down and making me feel bad about myself. And good, that's how it's supposed to feel, because that is for you to realize you're still coming from ego, that you haven't faced and addressed these things, that you are clinging as tight as possible to old programs, old slave programmings, to everything that's keeping you in these spots. That's why you're not experiencing growth, and you never will. Oh yeah, you got this year, you made this little step and made this little progress, and you learned a whole lot. Oh wow, you know so much more. What good does knowing it do if you aren't living it? If you aren't integrating it? All you're doing by knowing all of it is causing yourself cognitive dissonance and forcing your ego to come up with even better excuses and better justifications for staying where you're at. And this is the truth, man. This is the straight up authentic truth from the divine, from source, from God through me to you, to cut through your bullshit, to cut through the defenses of your ego, and allow that child, that pure spirit, that soul within, that power to come out and realize and integrate. This is an opportunity. Every time you're uncomfortable when I speak, every time it doesn't feel good, every time it upsets you, every time you immediately start thinking of reasonings and justifications and excuses to stay where you're at and take baby steps, I'm going to take a little baby step. That's fine. But to say it's impossible to heal like that, it's just an excuse. 4 years, guys, 4 years. Not only did I figure all this stuff out on my own, but I figured out how to heal it. And I fixed it. I'm a living example. I look younger and feel younger and act younger and think younger now than I did 15 years ago. How is that possible? Well, he's just, special. He just got blessed. I wish I was that special. I wish. Keep on wishing. Or do what's uncomfortable. Start giving up your safety nets. Start giving up these excuses. Start recognizing them and using them instead as ways to bury yourself deeper in the shit use them as ways to bring out that authentic self, that true self, your pure essence. That way you can also live in purpose. So that way you can also live moment by moment, grateful for this gift of the present moment. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, now. That's where your power lies, in the now. And if you find yourself miserable in the present moment, use it as an opportunity to recognize what you need to work on. And instead, when that, and you're going to be shown. If you open yourself to it, you're going to be shown. But if every time you're shown, you go, oh, well, and you slip back into your, well, you know, I'm a sinner and I'm born in sin and Jesus has to save me. And Jesus didn't say that crystals were okay. And Jesus didn't say, you know, doing it in Mother Earth. And Jesus didn't say, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get nowhere. Or how about this one? I have to eat animal meat. You just have a different blood type, and that's why you don't have to eat animal. Bullshit. I mean, come on, guys. Keep on with your shit. It's all bullshit. And you'll never know until you take these steps and prove to yourself. And of course, yes, you're going to have major issues when you start coming off these things. Because like I said, food is the worst addiction. It's worse than a heroin addiction. You are going to fiend. Your body is going to go through convulsions. It's going to send you into a state of panic. It's going to make you crazy because you aren't feeding the parasites and the programs and everything else. You're doing something different. And the ego doesn't like that. The ego likes the same shit over and over because that's what's comfortable and safe. Remember, the ego only formed as a natural biological process that we were gifted to get us out of a bad situation. But instead of being able to get out of a bad situation, these systems purposely kept us in it, these trauma and abuse systems our whole lives, because they are feeding off your time, energy, and attention. And you have relegated yourself and prostrated yourself before Caesar and before invisible imaginary gods that are going to save you one day. So, got to take the steps, guys. You have it in you. You have it in you. It's just that fear, man. It's that fear. And that's just a sign of how bad your CPTSD is. That's a sign of how badly you need to address your CPTSD. Do I have to say it again? That's how badly you need to address your CPTSD. That's how badly you need to start understanding if you have these other issues like I have had my whole life, ADHD, autism, neurodivergence, where all this stuff comes from. Why? You know, their responses to toxic systems, their responses to trauma and abuse. It's very simple, but you're never going to understand. You can sit there and read all the books you want, watch all the videos you want, and think you got the knowledge. But if you're not integrating these things and you're just dismissing and going, well, this is what I have to do to live. This is what I have to do for my body. I got to eat satanically, ritually abused, sacrificed animal flesh. I have to participate in these things. I got to go to work 40 hours a week. I got to make money and have a huge house and 3 cars and all of these belongings. And I got to give my kids all this stuff that I didn't have when I was a kid. That's all coming from abuse and trauma. CPTSD. Guys, if you need, look, if you aren't watching my posts, you know how I have videos, right, on my channel. I have videos, I have shorts, I have playlists, and I have posts. I've been posting things because what it allows me to do is, instead of having to spend all my time, energy, and attention, you know, breaking these things down perfectly for you guys to understand that are specific blocks towards you, it is utilizing others who have made videos and broken these things down, and then I'm posting them. But what I'm doing is I'm posting. You got to read my comment. Or not my comment, my description prior to above the video. It's usually a paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, where I set you up to break the slave programming, to be able to view whatever that video is, to be able to see it from the proper perspective instead of the, okay, let me see how I can prove this wrong so I don't have to make any changes perspective. You're coming from an open-minded, oh, maybe there is a different way to look at things. And then you can view these things. So check out my posts, check out my shorts, check out these things because they're going to help you. They are going to help you. Leave comments. Guys, you don't know how powerful comments are. By commenting, you guys are literally taking a physical step and putting things out there. But don't sit there and comment negative shit or doubtful shit or shit like that. Comment from your authenticity. Comment from your authenticity because those are going to help you make breakthroughs. Again, your comment, you can't comment and ask a question and then just sit there and wait for, okay, give me answers, give me answers, give me answers, give me answers, give me answers. Your comments are meant for you to understand where you're at in that moment so that you can see what needs to be worked on and released and let go of in order to further you on your journey. And by doing that physical act of whether it's typing, speaking, or whatever, these questions in, it literally opens you up. You can sit there for years and have these questions swirl in your head until you get them out on paper, until you verbalize them, until you take some kind of physical action to even if it's just saying your questions out loud, it's stuck in your head and it just loops and 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 loops. So you have to take physical action. Even these small little actions like leaving a comment is huge, guys. You've got to understand. Everything you do matters. You are an eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful soul connected to everything on that level of existence, occupying and in charge of the most advanced biological system on this earth, connected to everything biologically. You are an extremely important individual, part of a whole, supposed to be working symbiotically with everything. Get yourselves straight. Work on yourselves. Deep introspection. Get away from the conspiracy theories, the rabbit holes, all this useless entertainment and news that they bombard you with and keep you in fear mode with. Get rid of all that. Drop it all. Put 100% of your time, energy, attention, focus, awareness, love, everything you got right into here. And you will solve your shit. But it takes action. All right, guys, I love you. Take care of yourselves. Nobody else will.